Disappointed. There's lots of emotions coming back and playing at home after such a long stretch away. I think one of the main ingredients that we'd all spoken about as a group was being passionate about the game and attacking the game in the right fashion. I actually felt as though the opening exchanges, we looked quite bright, and I think the best opportunity in that opening 10-12 minutes was Colton Belmar's header. And in tight games against a team that have shown already that they're going to be a pretty tough nut to crack, you're never going to get too many sights a goal. So when you do, you've got to take advantage of it. I never felt as though there was any true threat on our goal in the first half until the set piece. We had another very nice opportunity that went under Colton's foot just before the break. And in all honesty, we have to make more of those. The goal changes the dynamic and the dimensions of the game. The change at half time to add a little bit more of an attacking look to the wide areas, which of course continued throughout that second period. Whilst we dominated the ball for large degrees, it really, wasn't an easy task to break that group down. And it wasn't helped with, a little bit of frustration and edginess in some of the quality when we got into the final third of the field. So, yeah, barely disappointing. I still thought there were moments that we should have got something out of the game, and looking at the stats with just 2 shots on goal, we're certainly not being overly fortuitous at the moment when teams play against us. And the opportunities they're getting, they're being pretty clinical.
Seems like you had some miscommunications, especially near the top of the box, with strikers maybe dummying a ball when they thought somebody was making a run in behind them. Is that something that you've seen before, or is it just something that on this night it happened?
Well, I think there's a combination of reasons for that. You've got to give a lot of credit to the way they play. They're tough to play against. 3 centre-backs do a terrific job. And they've got some nice continuity now. Midfield players put on really good screens, they recover quickly. And if you don't make things happen brightly and in transition, then there's a different game in front of you. You've got to break that down, you've got to be brighter in the wide areas. So to your point, at some stage there's got to be some creativity. And I think, maybe what you're seeing is some disguise in an individual's play, hoping that there's a connection and they can break through those lines. And it's not easy. I've watched some top games, as we all have, over the last weeks or months. There's plenty of very, very good teams that find it incredibly difficult when they go a goal down to break down a good defensive unit. The key for us here has to be getting in front. And missed opportunities, missed moments, poor choices. When we got into encouraging positions, there just wasn't enough quality to ask enough questions of a good defence. On the night, I felt there were some, individuals that will certainly go home and feel as though they were below par. And, there's no way I can tell when players step onto the field how their form's going to be. There's no lack of energy, there's no lack of determination, but there was a lack of sparkle. There was a lack of connection, and it's certainly an area of our game. You can see with Cameron and Daniel, they've had no football together, They're both extremely talented forwards, but, you've got to combine against a good 3-man back line, and there just wasn't that understanding throughout the game, not just in the second half.
You touched on the first 15, 20 minutes. What kind of happened there afterward after Belmar's a chance where it seemed like Tampa was able to get into the game?
We've spoken a lot about momentum, about managing periods in the game. the guys put a lot of effort and energy into that opening exchange, and you tend to find that the intensity goes out of it. It's a natural course of events. We've had a couple of moments, we've had a good chance, we've been in some good positions and not taken advantage of it. And then you find a little bit of a lull in the game. You see it many, many times. So, they realise at that point that maybe the first onslaught has ended. And in that period, I thought it was competitive. There was nothing in their game that I felt was going to be too troubling. And I think with their first real passage of play that got them into a fairly decent area out wide, Taylor made a rash choice. He dives in on a challenge, he gives them a good opportunity to affect a situation that they've been very good at. I'd be saying it against any team. You don't want to allow any group to be working good delivery, a very tight angle on the edge of the area into your penalty box, and we paid the price. In the very first moment that they have any sort of pressure towards our goal. That in itself turns the game on its head, because now you've got a group that have weathered a tough time, and then now they've just struck and they've scored. That gives them massive confidence and it gives them a huge lift. And at that point, we're playing a different game, completely different game. They don't commit as many players, they don't need to. They know that they're good at what they do, and now you've got to try and break that down. You've got to find some answers, hence the changes.
What did you see on the goal itself with Guenzati kind of alone on the back post and then the finish?
Well, I haven't seen it again, but I can guarantee that, ball worked into the back post. When it's that narrow, it's a difficult set piece to deal with. I'd have to look again at our start positions, but it looked like one of their bodies peeled off at the back post. And then, as always, when you concede from a second phase, one of their players has taken a gamble and one of our players hasn't followed that. And it's almost a tap-in. And to be perfectly honest, it's a routine set piece, difficult area, but routine. Hugely frustrating.
You've conceded 2 set-piece goals at home this season, tonight in St. Louis.
And lost 2 games.
And they both cost points. Is that concerning?
4 points. Not just points.
Yeah.
4 points. Yeah.
Is that concerning to you?
Of course. Hugely.
How does that...
I look at these stats here, and the coaches will look at these, and of course we can manufacture these statistics however we want. And it looks good that you've got nice possession and you've been in the final third a lot and entry passes and crosses, but the only stat that's important is the top one. Now we'll be encouraged with certain things that went on, but to your point, at home, we've got to do more. There is no doubt about it. We have to do more. And, that's on the shoulders of everyone. That's attacking players to find a moment, to be a difference maker, to step forward and make a difference. And for defenders, in those fleeting moments, and they are fleeting. No one's going to tell me tonight that Tampa have been laying siege to our goal. They've been, the stronger side throughout. They've won the game. That's the most important point. They've added another 3 points to the table. There's lots of work that needs to be done with the group in the final third when we run into occasions like this. And unfortunately, with whatever team you have, that takes a long time, because you're now looking at creative, the finer points, the finer moments, the goal scoring opportunities, an individual that makes a difference, like I said, and that's not easy. If it was easy, games would be 5 and 6 all, so it's not. What I do believe, as I said before, is far more important to us is taking advantage early on of a good start, it's being able to manage moments better, whether it's a free kick that doesn't need to be given or conceded, whether it's dealing with a moment, knowing that there ain't many. There ain't going to be many. I'm just going to deal with this moment, and guess what? We get back on track again. And we're falling foul of that at the moment. No doubt about it.
Might not be the way you want them on the field together chasing a game a little bit, but what did you think of the combinations between Daniel and Cameron?
I thought it was tough for them. I'm sure they'll both feel that they were suffocated by a good defence. I think if you spoke to them, they'd also be saying maybe the service wasn't as good as it should have been. And, it just isn't as easy as saying, okay, we'll take a Colton Belmar from there, he scored 15 goals last year, and we take a Cameron, he scored 26, and Daniel, and let's add that to there. What you hope is that with three individuals that have shown that they can score goals, that over the course of a season, that you see some decent return from those guys. But, Cameron scored 26 goals in a season for Louisville, but let's not forget, he'd been with that group for 3 years, or more, and that you build relationships, you build synergy, you build understanding, and at the moment, this is Cameron's first 45 minutes that he's had for us. So, I've got him on the field because I know that his record's great, and that's where I want him to be. He's had a difficult time, it's been frustrating for him, he's picked up 2 or 3 niggling injuries, and it's going to be, now's the time that he's got to be working for the next 4 to 8 weeks to get himself back to sharpness, to get himself back in the group and feeling like he belongs up top again. I'm sure he's forgotten what it's about, it's been a while for him. So yeah, it was tough. I mean, I wasn't expecting many chances either way. It worked out that way. I thought we had the best moments and the best, more exciting areas, but didn't make enough of them. Not at all.